Into the kitchen cupboard, got yourself another outing game. Half of it to me. We sat there looking at the faces of the strangers in the pages, telling you mathematically they were ours until forever. But we didn't know, we didn't know better. So we made our own computer out of macaroni pieces, and I did our thinking while we lived our lives. We counted up our feelings and divided them up feeling, and I called that calculation perfect love. Didn't even know that love was bigger. Didn't even know that love was so
Oh, this is Ray, and this Calculation by Regina Spektor. And if anybody can tell me why I like this song or what this song is about, please contact me immediately. Because I've listened to it so many times, and it is, I don't know what it's about, but I like it. Sometimes you run into music like that, and this is one of them. This is not a cancer video. This is talking about life, politics, religion, race, all the things that are taboo. You don't talk about. Okay? And I'm finding out that I am prohibited. Actually, I'm losing friends. I found out recently that I am a cold, mean-spirited, heartless, judgmental conservative. I never knew that. But I have this good friend, Claudia, who was a caretaker. I met her on the Johns Hopkins Cancer Board, and we became good friends. Good friends. She was a writer out in L.A. and wrote for some very popular TV shows. And perhaps it's because she spent so much time on the West Coast. I don't know. But we were close. I been over to her house, had dinner. She came over to my house. But when she found out that I was a conservative, it changed everything. And I got to thinking about that, you know. I mean, it's almost an insult to have someone, you know, she wrote me this thing the other day and said, I can't help it if secretly you hate black people and you hate liberals. And then she called me judgmental. And, you know, it's just ironic that that liberals always think conservatives are judgmental, yet they're the ones judging them. And I don't know, I'll put my record of caring and giving against any liberal I know. But I have many liberal friends, and thank God. What a boring world and what a scary world it would be if either side controlled this country. You got to keep that in mind, and I do keep it in mind. For one thing, it would scare me to death if everybody believed everything that I believed, because you can check my past and you will see that I have chosen some wrong paths. So I'm not beyond being wrong, that's for sure. But to speak to some of these left liberals, man, you would think that they are never, ever wrong. And they want to surround themselves with like-minded people. and they want to silence anybody who differs with them. And I'm sorry, I've seen life from both sides of that fence. You know, uh, I've been a stone cold liberal, and I've been a conservative. I think I do more as a conservative than I did as a liberal. I think liberal, when I was liberal, it was mostly feelings, you know. Uh, and I found out that liberals almost loved me to death. I mean, it got to the point where I didn't have to worry about housing. I didn't have to worry about food. Uh, you know, I just used somebody was always coming in with an excuse for my behavior. And it was generally liberals. And I just kept going till finally I can remember I was in and out of clinics and talked to psychologists and psychiatrists and social workers and counselors, and only one person out of the dozens and dozens of people that I talked to ever said anything to me that really stuck with me. And that was a young kid. I mean, he probably couldn't have been 21 years old. And it was in a group therapy session out in California at a clinic. There was like 50 people sitting around. And somebody had asked me why I was an addict. And I started in on this same old bull crap, about being restless and, my home life not being what it, should be. And all of a sudden, this guy just yelled my name. And he says, one of these days, you are going to wake up and you're going to look in the mirror and you're going to scream. And that's all he said. And the room got real quiet and everything. And I didn't know what to say to him. It's like, yeah, all right. But it stuck in my mind. And one day, I rolled out of bed, a bunk, and I looked in the mirror, except it wasn't made of glass. It was like shining steel. And I screamed. Inside. I was locked up. I was in prison. And his words came back to me. And that's when I began to change. I still had the same heart. I still care. But I approached life differently. And it's just sad that people judge you based on, she doesn't want me to speak out, to be silent. Well, the last time that happened was back in the 50s and 60s when white people knew that black people were being treated unfair, but they remained silent. And that silence made black people think, rightfully so, that all whites must agree with the way they're being treated, which was not true. There was way more whites that thought inside, man, nah, this is wrong. You can't treat people like this. But they remained silent. And it's the same kind of silence now that I am opposed to. I say, speak up and speak out. I don't care which side you're on. And it's not a good thing to remain silent. It's not good to speak up in the middle of a crowd and ruin, occasion. You got to know the timing and you got to know when to speak up. But you know, to accuse people of being racist, and you know, I probably associate with the Tea Party more than I do liberals. Not probably, I surely do. But that jacket, racism jacket, doesn't fit me, man. It never has, never will. But that's the first thing they do is start calling names. And so, anyway, basically, this video is just about don't be afraid to speak up. You know, if you don't want the mosque on ground zero, you got every right to speak up against it. You know, if you think teachers are not teaching and being lazy, speak up against it. You know, that's the only way we're going to get this country straight. And like I said, I don't want either party, any philosophy in total charge. I think that's a bad thing. So anyway, I said my piece about the division in this country, and hopefully the left and the right can somehow find some common ground.
It was a teenage wedding and the old folks wished them well. You could see that Pierre did truly love the mademoiselle.
This one I understand.
And now the young monsieur and madame have rung the chapel bell. C'est la vie, say the old folks, it goes to show you never can tell. They furnished off an apartment with a 2-room, a robot safe. The coolerator was crammed with TV dinners and a gin.